The US has recently disabled a Russian spy tool used to collect sensitive information from NATO countries for over 20 years. The sophisticated malware deployed by the FSB, the Russian security service, had in the course of this period infected computers in at least 50 countries, including collecting sensitive information from the US and its NATO allies. But the US, working with international partners, has now disabled this sophisticated spy tool, according to the US Justice Department, by inserting its own code into the malware, causing it to overwrite itself. Called Snake, the malware targeted specific computers and then formed its own peer to peer network of infected systems using encryption and fragmentation to evade attempts at detection. Versatile and reconfigurable, the malware was found on Mac, Windows, and Linux systems. But as a sign of its high value, referred to as the most sophisticated cyber espionage tool in the FSB's arsenal, it was only identified on 8 US computers, suggesting targets were chosen carefully and sparingly. In addition to the 8 US computers named in the indictment, it's understood to have been found in over 50 countries, including in North and South America, Africa, Asia, Europe, and Australia. European countries with affected systems included Germany, Belgium, Ukraine, and Switzerland, with targets ranging from NATO governments and research facilities to small businesses and journalists. After infecting computers in these countries, Snake would then pull sensitive data and transmit it through other infected computers in the network back to Russia, making it difficult to trace. And at least one NATO government system was said to be affected. But after working against the malware for over a decade, US authorities discovered a way to decrypt the communications after mistakes were made due to its complex operation, which enabled the authorities to warn parties with infected systems. And so now, after an approximate 20 years of activity, the US has managed to disable the Russian malware in an operation called Medusa with its own high-tech tool called Perseus. Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco said, through a high-tech operation that turned Russian malware against itself, US law enforcement has neutralized one of Russia's most sophisticated cyber espionage tools used for 2 decades to advance Russian authoritarian objectives. The breakthrough apparently came through human error, something even the sophisticated design was unable to account for, with mistakes in both development and operation. According to the Australian Cybersecurity Centre, one such example included leaving in function names in developer comments, all of which allowed for an early foothold into the malware and enabled tracking and ultimately its neutralization. While details on Perseus are limited for obvious reasons, we are told that code was inserted into the malware that led to the spy tool overriding itself. A US statement read, "The Justice Department will use every weapon in our arsenal to combat Russia's malicious cyber activity, including neutralizing malware through high-tech operations."